Good morning. I'm Sarah, the Real Simple Mama, and yes, you are in a corner of my kitchen. And I wanted to do a really quick video because I realized I've been doing this trick with eggshells for a long time, and I've had chickens for almost 10 years, but I don't think I've ever done a video on what I do with all of these eggshells from fresh chicken eggs. Good morning, everybody. So welcome to my kitchen. So I'm going to talk really quickly to give you a couple of tips on what you can do. Or maybe, I did a video a long time ago, but let me show you how I do it now. So these are my fresh chicken eggs. Some of them have been sitting here for like 4, 5, 6 days. Some were from this morning, so they're still wet and kind of gooey. We keep our fresh chicken eggs unwashed on the kitchen counter, and we go through eggs like crazy, so we're never worried about an egg going bad. But there are a couple of things that you can do with your eggshells of fresh chicken eggs. Now, I wouldn't do this with store-bought eggs. They've been washed, so the bacterial bloom has been taken off of them, and those eggs, sometimes have been sitting there for weeks. So the benefits if you've got chickens is that there are these eggshells that have, among other things, calcium in them. And I use these eggshells back into, my home and my plants and my chickens a couple of different ways. So the first thing that you always need to do is I let them dry out on the counter. They're over actually by the oven and on the stovetop where we cook our eggs. And then I line a tray. We're just going to use our little toaster oven. I line it with foil and I dump all of the eggshells on there. If they're still wet and gooey, it's fine. If they've been sitting out for 5 days, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to do a super low heat for a long time. So on my little toaster oven, I'm going to bake. The lowest heat I can do is 150, and I usually do less than an hour. I'm probably going to crank it to an hour this time because I've got 2 containers full, and we're going to let that preheat. Now, if you do this or you have a strategy that works, my only thing that I'm like, this process could be better is if you leave the eggshells on here just plain on the foil, sometimes they kind of stick. And what we're going to do is we're going to bake them so they like crisp and crunch and break and fall apart really easily, right? We're like dehydrating them, we're drying them out. And then you can do a couple of different things with them. The only thing that I haven't found a solution for that I like, and I don't want to use a Silpat or anything like that, but if I don't spray this at all, they're going to stick really badly to here anywhere that there's like the wet or gooey, because we do have eggs from this morning. But I don't want to coat this with a whole bunch of oil because then, of course, they're oily and it has that residue on it. So I haven't decided what the best solution yet is with that. But literally all I'm going to do is I have this entire container full and I have more. I'm going to dump them all over this tray. Once this is preheated and ready to go, I'm going to put them in. I don't have to check them. I don't have to flip them. I don't do anything. In fact, I'm going outside to work on building up the chicken coop. You guys have seen that video recently of all of the problems with rats. So we're going to be working outside all morning. Then you can just crush them up with your hands. I have been grinding them up pretty darn small. If you've got, I think, double check with the products that you have. If you've got, whether it's a small little blender, like a NutriBullet type thing, or like a full like kitchen blender, those blades should be able to do this, but just double check. Some people say they don't like doing it because it might dull the blades, or you can't do like a dry mix without having any liquid. But I get it so that it's pretty darn fine, and it looks like that. Now, you could do 2 different things with this. I like to either mix it in with my plants. Plants can use this calcium. You can literally put it on top of the soil and it'll break down over time. You can mix it in with a mix. You can put it in potted plants. You can put it in the ground. But essentially, it's like, it's kind of gross and it's kind of weird and it's kind of cool, but we're recycling the calcium back into nature. Like, go back and help, either my plants that are producing food for my family, or, they're helping the pollinators, they're helping my chickens, or you can mix this in with your chicken feed, or you can offer it separately. The key here is I want to break it up small enough. I don't want to give it to them like this because they will make the connection. Ooh, I can eat this. Hey, wait a minute. This is an egg. I can eat eggs. Okay, cool. Like, no. I don't want them to realize that this is this. Does that make sense? So you can either mix it into their feed or, oh, it's already ready. You can mix it into their feed, or you can offer it separately, like literally just like in a little miniature dog food bowl, cat food bowl. Like, I don't like you guys having to buy stuff. I have added it separately, and I found that the chickens kind of ignored it. They didn't really realize that this is like another supplement for them. So I just mix it into their food now, and it's so small, that they're just going to eat it like, along with the oregano and the garlic and everything else that I put in. So I like using this. Again, this is free. This is part of like, I buy my chicken food, so I get this back and I'm going to use it for different things. So I realized I hadn't taught you guys this, so I wanted to go ahead and say it. But let me know what you do with eggshells. Do you do anything with them? You can always, of course, throw them in a compost bin if you got it. Just put the eggshells like this down in the bottom of a pot when you're gardening. But let me know what you think and what you do.